On the next Jane Whitney show, why women marry convicted killers.
In the news tonight, President Bush is prepared to send thousands of U.S. troops to Somalia. Rainy weather doesn't dampen Macy's high-flying holiday tradition on Broadway. And in Harlem, a glimmer of hope for families struggling against the odds.
This is Channel 2 News at 11.
Good evening. We begin this Thanksgiving night with an American feast and an African famine.
Tonight, all across our nation, Americans are recuperating from huge meals and children are dreaming about holiday parades. Macy's annual Thanksgiving Day parade was better than ever. It brought out the young and the young at heart, and no one really seemed to notice the rain. The holiday also brought out the kindness of strangers, as those who have plenty to eat served up a Thanksgiving feast to those among us who do not. But half a world away in the African nation of Somalia, more than 1 million people are in danger of starving to death tonight. And now President Bush is ready to send thousands of American troops to Somalia to make sure relief supplies get through. Here's Lisa Castleman with more.
Yeah, he's cold. He's dead.
The sights and sounds of starvation throughout Somalia have captured world attention. But even the best efforts to deliver food have been thwarted by rogue gunmen and looters loyal to Somali warlords. This week, a UN-chartered relief ship carrying over 9 tons of grain was shelled. UN cars have been ambushed, and yesterday a UN soldier was shot and badly wounded.
There is a continuous degradation of the situation. And what is especially disturbing is that something like 70 to 80% of all the humanitarian aid is looted and winds up in alien hands.
So now the United States is offering to send 30,000 armed troops to Somalia. UN Secretary General Boutros Ghali has not yet said whether he'll accept the U.S. offer, which is contingent on other nations also providing troops as part of a United Nations mission. There has been no central government in Somalia since rebels overthrew dictator Mohammed Siad Barre in January of 1991. The UN estimates that 300,000 people have already died of starvation. Disputing Somali warlords have blocked UN efforts to deploy the 3,500 peacekeeping troops already pledged to Somalia. Only 500 of those troops are now there, most of them staying in camps. In the relief camps, where volunteers have been treating the sick and caring for orphans, there's some concern that sending in troops could increase tensions. The head of the UN World Food Program worries that gunmen might retaliate against relief workers. At other camps, a large number of troops could force a temporary evacuation of workers. Before the U.S. offer to send troops can be accepted by the United Nations, it needs to be approved by the 15-member Security Council. The council is expected to meet tomorrow afternoon, and while Somalia is not on the formal agenda, the subject is expected to come up. At the United Nations, Lisa Castleman, Channel 2 News.
Here at home, volunteers helped fill the plates of the less fortunate among us, people dedicated to the idea that the spirit of this holiday is not only in the thanks, but in the giving.
Get to work, look busy.
The day started early for volunteers at God's Love We Deliver. The group spent the morning preparing and packing turkey dinners for homebound people with AIDS. And they weren't the only ones. Across the river in New Jersey, parishioners at Church of the Good Shepherd also decided to serve dinner to those with AIDS.
What we believe we are doing is creating a space where those people who are potentially the most isolated in society and those who are not can sit down at the same table together and share this meal.
Hosting dinner for 1,000 is nothing new to the folks at Holy Apostles Soup Kitchen on 28th Street. They do it every day.
So give him a big scoop.
The only difference today, it's Thanksgiving, which means turkey, cranberries, green beans, stuffing, gravy, and of course, giving thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your dinner.
The biggest Thanksgiving dinner in town was offered up by the folks at the Salvation Army. At their 14th Street location in Manhattan today, they served some 4,000 people.
Well, of course, what's Thanksgiving without the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? More than 1 million people lined the parade route to watch Goofy, Garfield, and the rest of the gang make their way down the Great White Way. And as Troy Roberts reports, even the driving rain couldn't dampen anyone's spirits.
Under threatening skies, an explosion of Thanksgiving magic. The spectacle called the Thanksgiving Day Parade, the longest running show on Broadway, pulled out some time-honored tricks that still thrill young and old audiences alike. And despite the weather, New Yorkers clamored for any vantage point to catch it all.
Nothing like the real thing. The kids, the people, the excitement. We get up at 5:30 in the morning.
The giant balloons, 16 altogether this year, lumbered down Broadway as has been the tradition since 1927. Dedicated workers made sure the big guys got to where they had to go all in one piece.
This is a long and very pink tail, so it's definitely a challenge, but I think the weather has actually cooperated with the lack of winds.
The holiday presentation included old favorites like the Pink Panther, Betty Boop, and Snoopy. Bart Simpson made an appearance without getting into trouble, and a new balloon, Disney's character Goofy, made his debut. With a host of characters to choose from, everyone, it seems, had their personal favorites.
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like?
Garfield, Bugs Bunny,
Bugs Bunny?
Goofy, and Garfield.
The parade that managed to bring together diverse fictional characters was also successful in drawing together New Yorkers from all walks of life. It's an event that embodies what Mayor Dinkins calls the gorgeous mosaic.
I'm thankful for our health, our families, and that we're all working.
We've been unemployed, but we're very happy to be together. That's all we have.
Bringing up the rear, the man who receives the biggest round of applause whenever he comes to town. The Christmas season has officially arrived. In Manhattan, Troy Roberts, Channel 2 News.
President-elect Bill Clinton is relaxing tonight after a busy Thanksgiving day. Clinton started the morning running in a 5-kilometer turkey trot in Little Rock. Afterwards, he visited 2 rescue missions in the area, serving up a holiday meal to battered children. Later, it was back to the governor's mansion where Clinton and his family had a traditional Thanksgiving dinner with all the trimmings. And President and Mrs. Bush began their holiday with an early morning round of golf in Kennebunkport, Maine. The president urged Americans today to give thanks for families, friends, and freedom. Later, the Bushes had a quiet Thanksgiving dinner with a few staff members, but none of their children. A White House spokesman says that's nothing unusual. The first family's traditional gathering is held over the Christmas holidays.
Queen Elizabeth makes the British government an offer to pay her royal way, and that tops our news from around the world tonight. The Queen says she's willing to pay taxes now on her personal income and take her children off the public payroll. The royal family has been getting a lot of criticism since the British government promised to pay millions of dollars to repair Windsor Castle, which was damaged by fire last Friday. And in war-torn Bosnia, much-needed relief finally arrived today in the small town of Gorazda. A United Nations convoy carrying 80 tons of supplies was delayed yesterday after one of its vehicles hit a landmine. Supplies to Gorazda have managed to get through only twice in 7 months of war, and people in that town are said to be desperate for food and medicine. And South African President F.W. de Klerk promised today to give blacks the right to vote in 1994 national elections. But African National Congress President Nelson Mandela says it's too little, too late. He's calling for elections within the next year to set up an interim government to bring an end to centuries of white minority rule.
Still ahead tonight, a holiday tragedy. One person is dead, several others injured in a Queens house fire.
Plus, it's a hard life for some families in Harlem, but they find reason for hope this Thanksgiving. And it's a hard-working holiday for many folks out there, including Storm Field.
You too, Michelle and
That's
Tony.
right.
We've got the fog slowly but surely breaking up, and overnight tonight we should be getting to some clearer skies and a much more beautiful day for tomorrow. I'll have all the details.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Channel 2 News, sponsored by 9X.
Portsmouth is such a small community. You really get to know who you're calling on.
How you doing? Thank you very much, Bob. How long have you been in business, Arthur?
Well, I started in business way back in the 20s.
I've seen businesses grow from just one man to 3 trucks and a crew of 12 people. Where I get the most satisfaction is seeing a business actually grow through my vehicle, which is the Yellow Pages. I can't walk up and down the streets and feel comfortable in this town and live in this town if I don't feel that I'm doing my very best for everyone I call on.
The real advantages of a claim from Chrysler Plymouth include all this room for 6 passengers, plus about $1,500 worth of options like these. At no extra charge for under $12,400. Now that's sure to make 6 people very happy. See the new 93 Acclaim from Chrysler Plymouth at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
We continue tonight with a holiday tragedy, a house fire that left a Queens man dead, 4 other people hospitalized. Officials say that fire started late this evening in the 2-family home in Jamaica, Queens. Firefighters say it spread so quickly there was no way to save the man. But there is also some controversy because one of the fire companies closest to the scene was shut down recently because of budget cuts. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And tonight, police are searching for the killers of a subway token booth clerk shot to death during a pushing robbery. Police say it happened last night at the Euclid Avenue station in East New York. The clerk, 40-year-old Andre Barreto, had just opened the door to let a co-worker into the booth, but 2 robbers were lurking nearby. One pushed his way into the booth, the other opened fire. Police say the robbers got away with $350.
This Thanksgiving has been a hard-working holiday for many people in our area. No turkey, no time off, but that doesn't mean they're complaining. As Channel 2's Pat Battle reports, some of those toiling away today found ways to make the holiday a little brighter.
There were a lot of people thankful that they didn't have to work today. They could go shopping like these ladies did. But of course, somebody had to mind the store, and here at the New York look, they were making the best of it. I see you're making the best of a bad situation, though.
Yeah, well, we're offering champagne to customers.
Compared to having done nothing, if we were closed, it's been incredible.
Business has been incredible.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what about all those families who ate their turkey dinners out, courtesy of some of New York's fine restaurants, like Wilson's here on the Upper West Side? Somebody had to do the cooking, right? You cook all this food, and you don't get a chance to go home and enjoy dinner with your own family.
They came in to eat tonight.
Oh, they came here?
Right.
Oh, well, does that work, huh?
Yeah, that works.
I'm having a wonderful Thanksgiving. I mean, as far as other people are concerned, I mean, I'm working, but I'm making other people happy on Thanksgiving, and that's the important thing.
A lot of people got where they were going, courtesy of all those taxi and bus drivers who put in a full day's work today. So do you feel better knowing that you're taking them to see their families?
Yeah, that consoles me a little bit.
But not enough.
Not much.
Bottom line, though, most people we found working in New York today really were complaining.
I traded it all for Christmas and New Year's, so that way I don't have to work those 2 holidays, so I'll work today. I don't mind.
I would be unhappy if I wasn't working.
Really? You'd rather be working on Thanksgiving?
At least I have a job, right?
Yeah, that's one thing to be thankful for today, isn't it?
It is, certainly is.
And, of course, if I wasn't working today, who'd be here to bring you the stories of the rest of those folks who are stuck working on Thanksgiving Day?
What is this, a solo act?
Like Rick and Manny here, cameraman and sound technicians extraordinaire. I'm Pat Battle for Channel 2 News, and from all of us, happy Thanksgiving.
Well, they talked themselves onto the camera, finally. Well, if you have tomorrow off and you are going to be among the holiday shoppers, you might want to beat a path to North Jersey to take advantage of a sales tax cut. Starting tomorrow, the towns of Elizabeth, New Jersey, and Jersey City and Orange and Kearney will cut their sales taxes in half to 3%. That's part of an enterprise zone project to boost business in the Garden State. Many stores have been advertising to attract New York shoppers across the Hudson River, and that, of course, has angered New York officials who are worried that the state's 8.25% sales tax just cannot compete.
Well, here's maybe a little bit of good news. Looks like we may be getting a break in the weather.
And none too soon, it has been a soggy and dreary but warm holiday. Storms here next with the Friday forecast. Stay with us.
I'm thankful for my wonderful family.
The parade.
I'm thankful for my family and for my health and for happiness for everyone.
I'm thankful for everything.
The quotes are in on the all-new Geo Prism. A look that easily surpasses Honda's best efforts to date. A handsomely styled, roomy, refined sedan. Inexpensive only on the bottom line. But the most impressive quote of all may be the one you get from your Chevrolet Geo dealer.
Geo Prism LSI, just $13,147 at your local Chevrolet Geo dealer.
P.C. Richard & Sons present the Panasonic GAO Super Flat System. It means advanced television technology. It means our flattest screen. It means high contrast black glass. The Panasonic GAO Super Flat System. Experience it for yourself now at P.C. Richard & Sons. The new GAO Super Flat System from Panasonic. Now on sale at P.C. Richard & Sons.
Look what we've done with Toyota.
Look at Toyota buyers and you'll see lots of happy faces.
Look what we've done for you now.
You can still save. Just look to Toyota. But this 93 intro sale has only a few days left. Don't miss this introductory sale on Toyota cars and trucks. And don't overlook all the great savings. Or the ways your dealer makes it easy to own a Toyota. Like no payments until next year. But hurry, this weekend's your last chance to save during our Look to Toyota sale.
Look what we've done for you now.
Well, the good news is you got the forecast right. The bad news is
that I got the forecast right. The good news was the forecast was right, and the bad news was the forecast was right. But for some people traveling today, not a very good forecast, even if they knew it was coming. Heavy traffic, and this is the Belt Parkway, actually, and you'll notice that these guys were fighting not only bumper to bumper, but foggy conditions and flooding along the roadways. Now, what can we look forward to? Currently outside, temperatures are very mild for this time of year. 54 degrees here in Midtown, into the upper 50s out in Islip and also down Freehold. And again, for tonight, temperatures are not going to be getting very cold. Lots of rain around in the forecast and probably dropping off to some light drizzle. The very thick, dense fog that we had earlier today will be breaking up into the morning hours as cooler air makes its way in behind a cold front that is pushing across the region. That's some of the good news for us. The bad news, well, the bad news is going to be coming later. All these showers are starting to break up and move away from us. More good news. But what you can't see is down at the bottom of the map, off the map. Down there in the south is a low-pressure storm center that's starting to develop. And what it means is that by tomorrow, it's going to be moving right along in here and slowly sliding up the coast, just in time for, you got it, the second half of the weekend. At least the first half might be okay. Tomorrow, we have some combinations of clouds and sunshine, variably cloudy throughout the day. It's going to be a bit cooler than it was today, but still a lovely day for the most part. 45 degrees, dry at least. 50 degrees by noon. Still more sun and clouds mixed in through the period. And then as we go along into the evening, temperatures will not be warming up much into the over the low 50s range, which is, frankly, normal for this time of year. The 5-day forecast looks for some changes, and those changes will be coming fairly quickly. We start off with Saturday being a pretty nice day after a decent Friday. Temperatures dropping off, cooling down to 46 degrees. But Saturday night, the showers return. They will stay with us right through Sunday. Temperatures continue to go down, and then the warming up and the really nice weather comes back for us on Monday and Tuesday, when we all go back to work again. Isn't it just what you expect?
Yeah. No, I can't let go of this story with your wife. The clown in the parade. Is she home? Is she sound asleep? Is she exhausted?
No, my wife, last I talked to her, was sitting home reading a book, enjoying herself, and she had the most wonderful time being a clown. She just loved it. Looks forward to doing it next year.
She's going to do it again, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
That's good. We're proud of her. Thanks, Storm. A public service note for holiday shoppers. It's going to cost you $15,581.96 to buy your true love all those gifts from the song, The 12 Days of Christmas. Economists in Philadelphia say the cost of the package, everything from 12 drummers drumming to a partridge in a pear tree, is up less than 1% this year. That's not bad considering inflation was up 3%. Some items, those 5 gold rings, for instance, are even cheaper than last year. $300 now. That's down from more than $400.
5 rings for $300. Gold, too. Gonna rub off on your skin. Well, even at those prices, those luxuries are still well out of reach for many families, including some in Harlem, who are used to living in hardship.
But this holiday is bringing changes and hope for a better life. That story next.
I'm 75 years old, and I remember standing in soup lines and in bread lines back in the 30s. I never got rich.
Your Dodge dealers will attempt to sell 1,000 Dodges in 10 days. That's 8 Dodges an hour, 1 Dodge every 5 minutes. And that means it's Dodge Don't Delay Days. Plus, you'll get up to $1,836 in total savings on the Dodge Spirit. $500 cash back on Shadow. $500 cash back on Caravan, and you can get air at no extra charge. Plus, expect a low down payment, on-the-spot financing, and immediate delivery. Yes, it's Dodge Don't Delay Days, so don't delay.
How are we going to end this recession?
How are we going to end this recession?
We have no solution to the problem, apparently.
Americans will have to start spending much more wisely.
I had a Honda Civic for 4 years. I put an ad in the paper to sell it. Phone starts ringing immediately. Guy comes over to look at the car. He's ready to buy it. And a lady walks over. They start arguing. I was here first. I called first. They're arguing over a 4-year-old car. What could I do? I gave them some iced tea, gave the Civic to my daughter. Bought a 93 Accord SE with dual airbags for myself. The woman still calls every few months.
Honda, the car that sells itself. At your Tri-Honda dealer.
You must remember. This Christmas on video cassette, the 50th anniversary limited collector's edition of Casablanca. The gift that only gets better as time goes by. $19.98 or less after $5 rebate with purchase of Taster's Choice.
Inside the stories you talk about. Inside investigations that matter. Don't miss the next Inside Edition.
Weekdays at 4.
Bogey's off your way. What's he doing? I think he's trying to pass.
DHL, faster to more of the world. Until now, some thought luxury coupes forgot the driver, but change is accelerating. Introducing the Cadillac Eldorado Sport Coupe. It places emphasis on both sophisticated V8 performance and refined comfort. So it's not just in tune with the road, it's in tune with you. The Eldorado Sport Coupe at your Cadillac Tri-Statesman, changing the way you think about American automobiles.
Many families are, of course, counting their blessings on this Thanksgiving night.
But unfortunately, many others are just hanging on to hope that one day they, too, will have something to be thankful for. Channel 2's Mike Taibbi has their story.
The Thanksgiving dinner guests at the Children's Aid Society's Millbank Center in Harlem all live in buildings across 118th Street. 2 of the buildings, city-owned buildings, are frankly horrible.
This breaks your heart.
Plumbing that rarely works, walls and ceilings devoid of plaster, little heat, and sometimes no heat at all. Martha Barber, an amputee, tells me and producer Rose Arce that never missing a rent payment has gained her almost nothing in the way of repairs to her crumbling apartment.
Every time I ask them, they ignore me.
What do they say to you?
They say they come and gonna send somebody out, but they never do.
For Elaine Gunzel and her 3 children, including 7-year-old Annie, it's a hole of an apartment lit by a bare bulb.
I just had rats the other day.
Yeah.
My cat caught them. I got a 2-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and rats in all the holes.
But hope has been brought into even these apartments by the Children's Aid Society, a private agency which has been able to prod the city into corrective action after years of neglect.
Are the boilers working? Are there running water? Are there lead that the apartments need painting, plastering?
Caseworker Ann Ham inventories every specific need. For example, the eviction threat faced by Elaine and her kids because they, like many of their neighbors, were squatters. Now they're not. So do you think that this Thanksgiving might be a better one for you than...
Oh, yeah, because I have my own apartment now. I'm a legal tenant.
And some legal tenants, with the help of the agency and Ann Ham, have been moved into the clean and modern Tier 2 housing a few doors down the street. For Patricia Vincent, the mother of 7, the old days are just a bad memory that's fading fast.
We tried for housing, we tried for like other things, HPD. We said, is we ever going to move? And then that's when we met Miss Hams.
So it was a modest dinner today, but an important one for families short on hope. It means that 7-year-old Annie might lose that haunted look in her eyes. It means 7-month-old Christina can sleep peacefully beneath a window looking out on a hopeful life from the safety of a warm, clean, well-lighted home. In Harlem, Mike Taibbi, Channel 2 News.
Up Up next in sports, a turkey of a day for the Giants in Dallas, but what did you expect? And the end of an era for the New York Jets.
Plus, having fun with the holiday feast next.
We're thankful for being in New York because it's the greatest city in the world.
Thankful for being alive and being able to be in this parade.
I'm thankful for having a home and just having a nice family. I'm thankful for the parade.
In about the time it takes you to read this, the new Jeep Grand Cherokee can go from 0 to 60. In about the time it takes you to read this, Grand Cherokee can go from 60 to 0. And in a fraction of the time it takes you to read this, the new Jeep Grand Cherokee could save your life. Maybe it's time for you to test drive one now at your Jeep and Eagle dealer.
There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your tri-state Jeep and Eagle dealers.
A&S Thanksgiving sale starts Friday with extra special savings to 11 a.m. It's 60% off all 14-karat gold hoops, 30% off all Mrs. Wynn suits, all Bill Blast jeans, all knit accessories, great suede boots, $39.99, 50% off all wool pattern sport coats, Pierre Cardin leathers, $149, Islam Sutter twin sheet sets, $9.99, RCA's forehead VCR, $249, and more. Friday, 8 to 11 a.m. only at A&S. Terrific.
Responsible adults aren't supposed to have fun. Wake up. We can do whatever we want. Drive racing cars to work, play golf in our pajamas, tennis on the bus, or baseball in our mother-in-law's living room. All you need is a Game Boy. It's a personal game-playing system with over 200 puzzle, action, and sports games to choose from. Hey, fun is your reward for growing up. Start playing.
You really got to get one of these.
Game Boy by Nintendo. Have you had your fun today?
Announcing Delta Airlines' great transatlantic takeoff. You could win one of 900 pairs of tickets to one of 30 cities in Europe, like Frankfurt, Rome, Moscow, even Gay Paris. Register at any A&P, Food Emporium, or Wallbounds. Winners will be announced nightly here on Channel 2. So if you want to win tickets to Europe, now you can. During Delta's great transatlantic takeoff.
Channel 2 Sports Report, sponsored by Lexus.
The LS400 is consistently rated over cars costing thousands more. So you may wonder why Lexus made over 50 new refinements. If at first you succeed, try again. Come into your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer and try one out today.
Rock Road here now. Big news for Jets fans.
That's right. A Jet star makes a tough but a smart decision today. Instead of risking permanent damage, Toon officially calls it quits tomorrow. Continuing problems stemming from his 5th concussion in 5 years has forced the veteran wide receiver to retire. 3-time Pro Bowler has been the team's consistent go-to man for years, though. But recently, the hits have become too much for the 8-year veteran to handle. Among his many accomplishments, Toon set an NFL record with 355 receptions in his first 5 years as a pro. His 517 career catches stand second only to Hall of Famer Don Maynard. Well, as Toon calls it a career, the Giants might as well call it a season. Just like that big butterball turkey the boys in blue got stuffed in Dallas today. Isn't it strange it takes desperation to become imaginative? For the 2nd straight game, Giants tried the flea flicker, and it worked. Ken Graham to Ed McCaffrey. Big yardage, deep Cowboy territory, first quarter. Moments later, critical play could have given the Giants early momentum. Graham throws perfect pass to Stephen Baker, but he drops it in the end zone. A missed field goal would follow. The Giants came up empty-handed. The end. After a pair of Dallas field goals, Giants must fire again. Center Bart Oates snaps the ball right past rookie quarterback Ken Graham. You could tell right there this team was not ready to face the Cowboys. Giants defense, though, held Dallas out of the end zone the entire first half. Great goal line stand here as they pummel Emmitt Smith. But in the 3rd quarter, up 9-3, the Cowboys turn it up a notch. Giants defense fades. Watch Smith pick apart the would-be tacklers here, around and through, all the way into the end zone to make it 16-3 Dallas. Smith wasn't through. 120 yards total today on the ground, including the 68-yard sprint to the end zone. Waves goodbye to Mark Collins and the Giants' playoff hopes. 30-3 the final. The Giants fall to a miserable 5-7. While the Giants can pack it in, the Houston Oilers stayed alive in the playoff hunt today, beating the Lions in that other traditional Turkey Day contest. Detroit made them work for it, though, as a former player brought the Lions some added inspiration. Yes, lineman Mike Utley, who was paralyzed last season, served as honorary team captain. All right, Michael, he saw his buddies take the lead late in the game as Barry Sanders scores his second TD, make it 21-17 Lions, but with just over a minute to play, Houston got the game winner. Lorenzo White found a huge hole and cruised right through. Oilers win it 24-21 to up their record to 7-5. To college football, Coach Pat Dye's surprise resignation last night fails to inspire Auburn against number 2 Alabama today. With Auburn under NCAA investigation, Dye leaves after 12 years as head coach. Bama showed no mercy today, shutting out the War Eagles. Antonio Langham returns the interception. 65 yards for the score. 17-zip the final. The Crimson Tide keeps their national title hopes very much alive. Meanwhile, another interstate college football rivalry tonight as Texas tangles with undefeated Texas A&M. And these two teams hate each other so much they'll do anything to score. Quarterback Peter Gardere throws across the field. Derek Duke back to him. Not a bad idea as the Longhorns score the touchdown out of it. But it was the Aggies who got the last laugh as they ran away in the fourth quarter. Aaron Glenn took this interception and raced 95 yards for the touchdown. Texas A&M went on to win it easily to capture state bragging rights as well as remain unbeaten. To baseball news now, the Yankees have withdrawn their offers to free agent pitchers Jose Guzman, Doug Drabek, and yes, David Cohn. GM Gene Michael says the Yankees believe their offers are being used to up the ante from other ball clubs. And finally, late last night, the Nets did something they haven't done in 14 years. They won at the Lakers' home court. Yes, it didn't come easy, though. Drazen Petrovic had to nail the jumper with just over a minute to play. The Nets got the lead for good. And, of course, they won by 2. Chuck Daly hopes it's a sign of better things to come. Of course, they still have 2 more games on the road left till they come back home. I'm rocking that sports. Tony?
All right, Mark. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, finally tonight, if you think you've had your fill of turkey tonight, try this for a Thanksgiving exercise. They call it the 2nd annual Turkey Bowl at a Michigan skating rink. Contestants slide frozen birds down the ice lanes, knocking the stuffing out of the pins. Foul balls, that's F-O-W-L, make for strikes in this game. But it's all for a good cause. Bowlers also donated enough food to fill a truck, a holiday boost for Detroit's homeless and needy. That certainly is an interesting game.
Yes, it is. My bowling game has always been kindly described as a turkey, but I never thought of that.
Well, 3 strikes is a turkey, right? 3 strikes. But Rock says yes, see?
We'll ask Rock.
I'm not a bowler, but okay.
And neither were they. That's Channel 2 News at 11 for this Thanksgiving Thursday. I'm Tony Guy. Thank you.
And I'm Michelle Marsh. Stay tuned next for Prime Time after Prime Time on CBS. For all of us, have a good night. We hope you had a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.